change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day.
There it is. We'll all be okay. Move on each and every day.
Way back a year ago.
It is important. We move on each and every day. We hope things that get better. I'm gonna take these off. I don't need these anymore. So I think that's important. That's why I like that song. I don't even remember where I got it. It's part of that YouTube stuff you get. So anyway, I'm Steve. Steve from, playing with PVCs. Steve on PVCs. What's up? As it says right there, what's up? So today we're going to go a few words about the show, what I'm using. I'm going to go through some comments, which I'm way behind on. I can't get to everything. I try. And I'm just going to close it out. Okay. So, a few words about the show. We're keep moving forward. Things have been quiet lately. I mentioned this last time that sometimes there's going to be some droughts. I wish this could be a full-time job. I could do videos every day, do live broadcasts 3 days a week. That would be my idea. It's just not enough time. Life's a busy place, We all know that. We all live with that. But I'm doing my best, trying to get videos out. I don't know about live streams much. I like them, but they take a long time. These are pretty quick and short and get to the point. So we'll just have to see how things go, what the demand is. That's pretty much it. So what I'm using. Okay, so this is the biggest question I get. And bear with me, because when we go through comments, I'm going to answer a lot of the same questions because we have new people. If you've heard the answers before, chime in. But we need to, keep going. And I try to answer as many as I can, even for the repeats. Okay? But I'm going to address this one right off the bat. What am I using? Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about it. So, there are times when I get busy and I forget to do this. So, I had a period here where I was really sick. And I wasn't good about taking my stuff every day. Okay? And I noticed the PVCs and atrial runs started to come back. So I got right back on the horse. So I'm going to show you the two things that I absolutely swear by for me. I am not suggesting that this is a cure by any measure or any mean. Please contact your doctor before starting any kind of supplements, any kind of diet, stuff like that. Please talk to a physician. But for me only, this is what works. It's not very clear there. I don't know why the camera's not focusing. Let's shove it in there. It's called Vegan Vitality. Right? Multivitamins and minerals. It says it's GMO free, certified vegan. This is a 6-month supply. Me and my wife both take this. Now, I also take this in conjunction with vitamin D. Now, this is Spring Valley. I'm not sponsored by any one of these people, and your mileage may vary, but this is vitamin D, Spring Valley, extra strength vitamin D, and I take that much a day. Try to get that glare off there for you. Now, alone, it doesn't do as much. It doesn't do as well. Together, I get relief. Again, I'm not saying it's a cure, but it also leads my mind to think that there's a nutrient deficit somewhere. Maybe it's an absorption issue. Maybe it's something like that. I don't know. But I do know that those two things work impeccably well for me. Now, I still have PVCs on occasion. I don't really have atrial runs on that. But I don't have the long bouts of PVC. I may have one here, one here. It's really effective for me. Even those days when I don't have time to eat, I take that and I'm fine. I do okay. Again, talk to your physician. I'm not recommending this or saying this is a cure. I get asked a lot, so that's what it is. It's Vegan Vitality and Spring Valley Extra Strength Vitamin D3. This is actually kind of a fast dissolve. I don't know. That seems to help. The regular one does okay, but this one seems to do better. Okay. So, there you go. That's what I'm using. I've tried magnesium citrate, all the magnesiums. I don't even take magnesium. Now this has Let's see what it's got for magnesium. Magnesium oxide, 42 milligrams. Now, as we all know, magnesium oxide is not the best magnesium. But I'd really like to break down and see which one of these is making the difference. Or is it a combination of? I don't know. Right now, I'm going to say it's a combination of. All right. That's what I'm using. Okay. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to try to make my camera sharper here. Time for a new one, I guess. And let's go ahead and roll into comments. Look at that hair. You can tell what I do when I'm not on camera. Sorry about that, folks. Crazy today. I want to talk about some things here because it's really important as we close out the show. Anxiety, breathing, diet, caffeine, sugar, nutrients, stomach, stress, the world. So you see the world. Other people's shit. Right? Any of these things can be a trigger. So I'm going to start, I'm not going to go through all that, but I want to talk about anxiety because that's where I live. That's my profession. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I have a master's degree in clinical counseling and a bachelor's degree in psychology. When I think of this stuff, one of the things that was always told me is you have anxiety. That's what it is. You have anxiety. All right, hold on. I'm going to turn off the notes. Whoa, they disappeared. Hold on. Please hold. There we go. I'm going to turn that off. All right. I'm really screwing stuff up, aren't I? Let's move this down. There we go. Okay. I feel better about that. Sorry about that, folks. Out of practice. Anxiety. This is the chicken and the egg, right? So the old question of the chicken and the egg, which came first. Now, some people believe there's no answer to this, but there is. The answer is the egg. Okay? The egg came first, then the chicken. The change happened in the egg to produce the chicken. Okay, let's put that aside. PVCs. Is it the anxiety or the PVC that caused it? There's no answer to that for me. Because I was told for years that you have anxiety that's causing the PVCs. Possibly. That is a possibility. Or is it also possible, and is it also possible, that the PVCs created the anxiety I now live with this stuff? Now, for me, I think it was the anxiety that helped along the PVCs. I'm not going to get into my life story because that's a 51 years, man. That's going to take some time. Sit down, grab some coffee, let's get into it. No, I'm just kidding. Trauma. I had a lot of trauma in my life. A lot of anxiety, a lot of worry. That helped create the PVCs. I also think that there's something in the stomach that maybe the anxiety created. I don't know. That now I struggle with taking in the proper amount of nutrients or the right nutrient to prevent the PVCs. This is all anecdotal. Keep that in mind. I have no science to back this just yet. So for me, anxiety is a very big player. I know when anxiety kicks in, of course you have the rapid heart rate. You're going to go into fight or flight. We're going to activate the sympathetic part of our nervous system, which is to protect us. Run away or fight. So we need to move blood into our cardiovascular system, our pulmonary system, and our limbs to achieve that fight or flight. Okay? So there is going to be a response. Adrenaline, you're going to get jacked because that's what our body needs in that moment. Or so it thinks. In our lives, I'm going to speak for me. In my life, when I started seeing a therapist years and years and years ago, that was some of the things that were challenged. Now, I'm what's called a trauma-informed therapist, so I view things from a lens of trauma sometimes. Not every time, but sometimes. And I'm very psychodynamic, which means I believe in this, I believe that what happens to you when you're very young informs the way you are now. It's kind of a duh, So we carry these things forward. Now, for me, I carried them forward a lot. I carried them with me for a long time. It's the perceived threat. Okay? When I used to get in these situations, I get my fight or flight system, my sympathetic nervous system would kick in. Dump adrenaline. The blood's moving to here. And you ever had that sensation where, it's just like in that moment, things were a little foggy. There's no clarity there. Well, the blood has to move out of your brain into the rest of the body to make it go. I'm being very general with this, okay? So I had to retrain myself to walk into situations and go, okay, I have that feeling. I feel it here. I'm having PVCs. That ignited the PVCs. It triggered them. I'm not saying it caused it initially, but it triggered it. I then had to look around me and say, is there a real threat here? Now, from my past, which I won't go into, was there a physical threat? No physical threat. So I had to walk through my steps. There's no physical threat here. Nothing is going to hurt me physically. Nothing's going to hurt me, kill me, or destroy me. That helped my anxiety. It took practice. It took time, but I've come a long way. Breathing. Some people will dismiss breathing. It doesn't work for them. Okay. Some people it works for. And the reason I say that is because it works for me. Breathing affects what we call the vagal nerve. All right? The vagal nerve is responsible for all this, these reactions. It's the highway, you know. That deep breath in and exhalation pumps that vagal brake, right? And I'm not trying to get too preachy here. I'm telling you what works for me. So I had to learn how to breathe. There's a technique I often use. It's called box breathing. You know, you breathe in for 4, out for 4, in for 4, and then out for 4. And you just repeat the box, right? That helps. That helps calm. It calms that system. You're pumping the brakes on this whole system, right? So if breathing doesn't work for you, okay. If breathing is something you're interested in and does work for you, keep practicing it. It helps for those it works for. I saw a report. Let me pull this up here real quick on my phone. I don't have it on my PC. Let's go here. It's not gonna let me turn that on because I have that blocked. Yada yada yada. Please bear with me as we have some technical difficulties. Your show will continue momentarily. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to look this up. It's kind of important. Give me just a second, folks. And if I can find it, I'll post it in the show notes. I'm swallowing her because I'm having some drainage. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna look at this later, but anyway, it's 4, 7. I think it's 4, 7, and 8 is what it is. Anyway, it's a breathing technique that it really helps you sleep. And I'm going to put a link to the article, and again, talk with your doctor before you do any of this stuff. But essentially what it is you take a deep breath for a count of 4, hold for 7, release for 8. I think it's 4, 7, and 8. Yeah, I found it. Well, look at that. See, it already made me concentrate. 4, 7, and 8. Okay, it's a CNN article, but I learned this in my master's program for a sleep aid instead of medication. There's very similar effects, physiological effects by doing this breathing, but I'll put that in the show notes. Anyway, that's enough for me today. We're over 30 minutes. I like to keep these things short, but I rambled on. I hope you found some benefit out of this. Going to keep working on the logo. Going to try to put up another video as soon as I can. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for sharing. Your sharing helps me as much as I hope I help you. We're a community. We may not talk every day. We may not talk a lot, but we are a community. We are people with very like problem, right? We come from all walks of life. Everybody's welcome. I don't care who you are, where you come from, what you believe, what you do. Just come here and share your story, man. Sharing alone can have a little bit of a positive effect, right? So again, I'm Steve. This is Living with PVCs. I hope to see you next time.